Europe, the Middle East and Africa. Morag, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. It's great to speak to you.
I am someone who, went to university and thought debating was more fun than Toastmasters. Maybe it just fitted my personality in a different way. But for those of us who don't really know, how do you define Toastmasters? What do you think is your sense of mission, if you like?
Toastmasters is all about making effective communication a worldwide reality. That's really the basic, helping men and women to become better communicators in any walk of life, whether that's in their workplace, whether it's with their family, whether it's to lead in social occasions, and with that to develop a set of leadership skills that are really useful for all of your life.
How important do you find communication is? I mean, some people communicate by doing. Most of us, I think, do communicate by speaking. It must have been, it is something that I think people don't always think enough about, communication and leadership.
Communication is a very fundamental thing. We learn to communicate when we're very young, and sometimes we pick up good habits and sometimes we pick up bad habits. But most people at some point gain a little bit of anxiety about communicating for whatever reason. And I think it's one of those skills that you can never spend too much time learning to develop, because just to be able to communicate in all of those different situations with confidence. I've seen people come to my own home club back in Germany who come really, really fearful of speaking before an audience, or even of going into an appraisal with their line manager at work, just afraid of how to present their ideas, how to present themselves in the best way. And Toastmasters really is a great place to learn key skills to help with that while you grow your confidence in doing those things.
How do you start? I mean, where's the starting point for you? You come across someone who says, look, I just don't want to talk in public. I don't want to do it, and I need to overcome this. Where do you start, Maura?
The first place is to visit a club. And you're very lucky here in Cape Town. You have, I think, 30 clubs around Cape Town and then the immediate area. So the first thing is to visit a club and meet other people there. In our organisation, everything is based in groups. It's a learning by doing organisation. So you go along and you can just observe. No one will ask you to have to do something immediately. So you learn by watching other people, by speaking to other people informally. Most clubs have networking time and time when you're not in the spotlight, but just a chance to become comfortable and familiar with the others, and to take small parts initially, growing the amount of time that you would spend speaking in front of people. Most people at some stage, in my experience, are ready to take the stage themselves. It's a very supportive environment, so it's a safe place to make mistakes. People give you feedback, give you encouragement. I met a lady last week in Johannesburg who has just joined a brand new Toastmasters club there at the company Mathieson, and she's absolutely terrified to speak. But we had a chat about what that means, and I encouraged her to write a small notice for her newsletter in her new club in the company, and she did that. And she sent me a mail just this morning to tell me that today she's actually going to be brave enough to stand in front of her club and read that mail that she sent, because she's now confident in what she's going to say. And she knows it's going to be a challenge, but she knows that her fellow members in the club will support her, will encourage her, will give her feedback, and just make it easier for her each time she wants to stand up.
One of the stories of Toastmasters, I think one of the most interesting stories, is about Jabulani Mangena. I mean, a guy who became a football commentator. He started out living under bridges. It's an amazing story.
It's absolutely incredible. I think what Toastmasters can do for some people, for most of us in fact, is to help us put in touch with who we are. What is our message? To help us grow our confidence. And when you go on that journey of personal development and personal discovery, you learn lots and lots of things about yourself. You learn to have more confidence. You learn to develop skills that perhaps you already had, or perhaps you didn't even know you had. Things that just move you on in life and help you to realise what it is, to ask yourself questions about your purpose. What is it you want to do? What is the message you have for the world? one of the world champions of public speaking from the US, Lance Miller, said when he first heard about public speaking contests, he was a bit confused and he wasn't quite sure what it was. And someone said to him, it's where you have 7 minutes to share your message with the world. And when you think about that, a lot of people then start to discover what is my message in terms of who I am and what I'd like to share.
Morag, what are you doing while you're here? What's on the cards?
While I've been here, I've spent some time at a conference. I was in Johannesburg for the Southern Africa Conference. Southern Africa Toastmasters encompasses 9 different countries in Southern Africa, and so many people gathered there for a conference. I was also here to do some training of the local leadership and timing them, supporting them as they develop as leaders. I've also visited some of the clubs in Cape Town while I've been here, and yesterday evening we had a networking event at the Baxter Theatre in Cape Town.
All right, Morag Mathieson, thank you very much indeed, from Toastmasters International, Regional Advisor for Europe, the Middle East and Africa.